day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
I see some ass up here. Get that bicep to put your shoulder on somebody.
Dig, drop. You're finished.
Hey, first down. This is a weird kid. Worse than that, sir.
Hey, what are you guys doing out there? What's happening? Welcome to the impromptu After Hours Jets Fest. I am GreenBean, and I'm happy that you are here. We just finished the Talkin' Jets panel over on Jets Talk 24/7, and it seems there might be more to discuss. And forgive me, I took a bite of a Pop-Tart. Bad timing, so I'm sorry about that. But we'll make this one, I say this every time I do this, but we'll make this one a little bit shorter, just so we can kind of chat for a few minutes and kind of get it out. So let's say hello. Wyatt Peters is here. What's up, Wyatt? He says, take your time. I said, give me a second. So thank you for that. Michael Persaud. If Ulbrich isn't the guy and he's fired mid-season, who's the interim defensive coordinator? It would be Rutenberg, in my opinion, or maybe even Tony Oden. I don't think Tony Oden would do it. I think Rutenberg, Ruttenberg, the specific pronunciation, might be one or the other, forgive me, but he's our linebackers coach, and he's the guy that they gave the defensive coordinator role to in the Senior Bowl, Michael. So I think that might be a good idea. Kenobi Clone is here. What's up, buddy? And my friend, my beanbagger extraordinaire, Braden from New Zealand is here. Q versus White Cotton was an eye-opener. Pleased to see the passion. If they can overcome this and make adjustments, my faith would be restored. Here's my take on that, Braden. I can appreciate the passion as well. And we've never seen Q look like that before, right? I mean, it's really, it was really something. I mean, we've never seen that happen before. Now I'm going to show you guys right here. Let's take a look and take a look at it real fast. So this is what we're talking about. Braden, I'm going to get your comment off just so we can have more room here. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. It's talking about, okay? You guys ready for this? Watch this. Look who's sitting right to Quinnen Williams' left. Who's that? This guy right here. You see him? If you don't recognize his face, I'll help you. I know most of you know. But that is John Franklin Myers. Now, you see Solomon Thomas, you see Sheldon Rankins, you see Nathan Shepard, and a few other guys. Even Carl Lawson, and I believe Quincy Williams, they all jump up to break it up and calm down one or the other. Look at John Franklin Myers. He doesn't seem to be too concerned. He has no interest in getting up. He might agree with Quinnen. I don't know, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. But watch John Franklin Myers, the whole video. Here we go. John Franklin Myers, he don't give two shits, right? What is that, Braden? So look, okay, so what's really going on? They said Quinnen was mad that they blitzed, and he said we can get there with 4 people. Who the hell's Quinnen to say that, right? Who are you? Shut up. You do what the hell I tell you to do. Fuck you talking about? Now, if it was working, right, there's one thing. So there's layers to this. Now, the way I see it, Braden, again, appreciating the passion. And Quinnen he had a good game, man. He played hard and he was dominant. He didn't get home as much as you'd like, but he probably could have had very easily 2 more sacks and some tackles for a lot. He was in the backfield all day. Okay. So what does it mean? I'd love to hear your guys' comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think with that. So let me know. Why is John Franklin Myers just sitting there? What the hell is his deal? One more time. Dom C, I see you, buddy. What's happening? Well, Dom, why Quinnen to get so dude, you guys aren't getting home. Joe Burrow is carving us up. Right? Even other defensive coordinators are allowed to send blitzes. You were not. What is that? Dom, talk to me. Wyatt Peters. He says, honestly, the only coach on this team that irreplaceable is Joe. Well, he's not a coach. Wyatt. But yeah, I mean, look, I like a lot of our coaches. I want you to know that. I happen to like Ron Middleton. I happen to really like Tony Oden. Ruttenberg's one, he seems good. I happen to like Calabrese's potential. I like White Cotton. I mean, I don't love White Cotton, but I like him a little bit. But I mean, look, the truth is I like Mike LaFleur's potential. I really do. So what does it mean, man? What does it mean? Why is John Franklin Myers sitting there? Why didn't he feel the need? Now, there are people that say it had nothing to do with rushing forward. That's just the company line. That's what they said it was about. But what it was really about was people were getting on John Franklin Myers for his stupid ass penalty, and Quinnen decided to defend him. So what do you think of that? Is that a problem? Dom C agrees Ruttenberg would be the defensive coordinator. JETS, rooting for Ruttenberg. Rooting for Ruttenberg. Right. And Dom C says too, rumor says Q was defending JFM. So JFM being defended decided, who am I to jump in and tell somebody to stop defending me? I don't know. It's interesting, right, guys? Coach was supposedly knocking JFM's efforts, and Q was defending him. Well, I know, and this crap, like, look, we talk about the rotation. We don't like the rotation, but something else is wrong too, in my opinion. The other thing is they are taking JFM and they're putting him on the outside, which takes Jermaine Johnson. Obviously, Bryce Huff was not even active. Michael Clemens. It takes those guys off the field. Jacob Martin. And it brings guys like Solomon Thomas, Nathan Shepard, Sheldon Rankins, who again had a great game. So you don't want to bash that. At the same time, maybe it should be Quinnen and JFM and Sheldon Rankins can rotate a little bit. But Quinnen and JFM on the inside with Rankins, Shepard as a complete backup. He shouldn't even be playing. He plays if people get hurt. He plays special teams. And Jermaine Johnson and Carl Lawson on the outside, or if Michael Clemens or Jacob Martin is stronger that day, then that's who plays. But I think that's the way it should be. What the hell is JFM doing on the outside? What is he doing he doesn't do shit from the outside. In my opinion. Yeah, Wannabe says Lawson didn't get up either. Right? I know, Salty Nuts. I wasn't planning on some. You know what? I think it was Sully. He said, "You going live?" And I was like, I guess I can. Like I said, every now and then doing it's fine, right? I just don't want to commit to this every night. I'm sorry, every week, every Tuesday, because it's too hard. Like even tomorrow, I shouldn't even be doing this. I have to get up early tomorrow. I have to drive all the way to friggin' Charlottesville and I have 2 doctor's appointments tomorrow. Cardiologist. Cardiologist. And some other stuff. So, Mark Reed, GreenBean, love your work. The Jets have upgraded so much on defense. Can't understand why we aren't delivering. Well, thank you, Mark. I sincerely appreciate that. I like doing this with you guys, and I'm glad. I honestly, it feels good to read a comment like that. So, thank you. I appreciate it. And I can understand why, because there's so much we don't agree with. Like, look, how many times have we heard this, man? You guys are fans. You don't really know what's going on. Clearly, the Jets know more than the fans. Dude, when you put it all together over the course of our history, the fans have been right significantly more than this organization. And it's fucking high time that stopped. Like we all heard Jeff Ulbricht say, we're going to he's going to play about 60, 70%. We were like, what? Why? For who? Who's taking precedence that they deserved 30 or more, 35% of the defensive snaps. Now, any good offensive coordinator or head coach, they're going to know when they do their rotation, that's a step down feast. Right where that guy is. Yeah, he's fresh, but he's not as good. Yeah, that's right, Ablab. Totally. Yeah, I read the other thing. So, because Q will scream on JFM after that penalty. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's it. Look, I think, but think about that. If that's what's really going on, if there's like, they're kind of getting on JFM, rightfully so, and Carl Lawson, rightfully, he was doing nothing. And then Q screams and defends him. And then they tell us, oh, it was about Q wants to rush 4-man. He thought they could get home and he didn't. Really? It didn't sound, I mean, just to me, it doesn't seem scream-worthy. Does that seem scream-worthy that the defensive coordinator decided to send a blitz when you guys aren't sacking? You have no sacks up to this point, 3rd down, and they wanted pressure. Why is it a problem? Again, it doesn't make any sense. There's a lot coming out of this organization that it rubs, man. It just rubs. Now, we don't have firm answers on one side or the other, but it's like your spidey sense. You're like, doesn't sound right. So Mumtaz checking in. Thanks, my friend. He says, even during years of Rex, I recall clear as day, our blitzes didn't get home. Even with Greg Williams, our zero blitz killed us every time. I didn't like Ulbricht coming from Atlanta, who sucked. Nothing works. I mean, look, Mumtaz, blitzes don't always work, right? But make no mistake, blitzes are very effective if done right. I mean, you can say that Rex's blitzes didn't get home. All of Rex's pressure, all of it, was created by blitzes. He had 3 run stuffers up top. Every now and then, a Puha or a DeVito or a Trevor Price or whoever it was would get a sack. But that's not what their job was. Their job was to clog that line, eat space. There were 2 gapping, right? That was their job. Sione Puha was not here to get to the quarterback. He was here to eat up 2 gaps on that line. Same thing with DeVito and same thing with Trevor Price in many respects. It was the linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties that Rex Ryan would send that we would get any pressure from. And he was very creative and he disguised them. And sometimes they get picked up and sometimes they get home. But that's the thing. You have to let that you have to let the quarterback, offensive coordinator, and particularly the quarterback know at any moment we can send a guy and you're not going to be able to pick him up. We have to let them know. You have 7 up there on the line and then 3 pull back and 2. That you have to be able to do that stuff. And that's when you get the results like Mumtaz. Remember Sam Darnold, I'm seeing ghosts? Remember that comment? You know what that literally meant was Sam Darnold was feeling pressure because of the alignments that wasn't even there. He was assuming pressure's coming. I see the guy over there. He's coming. He's coming hot. And he never came. So Sam's reacting to a guy he thinks is coming and he's not there. And that's because Belichick masterfully ran that zero defense. That's what he did all day. You know what I mean? So, it's one of those things. I mean, you're going to get times when your blitz gets picked up and doesn't work. It's fine. And listen, just so you know, with the Greg Williams thing, that zero blitz worked many times. And don't forget this. I know we love to chop Greg Williams' head off for that one play. The play before that, he had everybody in coverage and they beat us anyway. So what he was looking at, don't forget, the guy dropped the pass. I forget what the receiver's name was. He burned Marcus May in the end zone. So what Greg Williams is looking at is when we drop into coverage, we can't cover these guys. I think, who the hell was it? I forget which receiver it was. So he sent a zero blitz and said, you know what? I'm going out on my terms. We're going to crush this guy. And it just so happened that Lamar Jackson, our cornerback, bit. He's a rookie. He bit. So it didn't work. Now, I was happy it didn't work. I wanted to go winless that year. I wanted the number 1 overall pick. I wanted Trevor Lawrence. That's what I wanted. So, you know what I mean, Mumtaz? Like, you have to be able to use those things, but you got to know things. It's like throwing a deep ball. It's not always going to work, but you want the defense to think that you're going to do that. You have to include it. That's why I hate empty backfields on third down. What are you telling them? We're passing. There is no threat of run. I hate it. Like, you have to be able to, you have to keep the other side of the ball thinking. It's like they say, put it on tape. Why do you put it on tape? So the other team has to account for it. They have to spend time, even if you're never going to use it. You want them to think you can, so they have to prepare for it, therefore taking time off of what they have to do. You know what I mean? Hey, Mo Dean's here. What's up, Mo? He says, how's the season going, gals and gents? We enjoying ourselves yet? Yeah, as much as you enjoy the rest of it. You're miserable the whole time. At least we have fantasies that we're going to be good. You know what I mean? Like Mo Dean, he's unhappy the whole time. At least, hey, shit, if we get to the game and then it proves that we're unhappy, you know, that we suck, okay. Well, I ruined 3 hours, but I had a whole week of thinking things were great. It's better. Believe me, you can't tell me being positive isn't better than being negative, man. I'll never buy it. That said, I'm glad you're here, Mo Dean. You balance it out. Let me see here. Wow, you guys are the best. There's 85 of you in here at 11 o'clock. Not yet, Indiana. I'm 49 years old, pal. Sully. You're funny. I'm sorry I keep eating. I'm starving. I didn't even eat dinner yet. I was out there. I had to take my daughter, and then I picked up my son, and I haven't even eaten, so I'm sorry. It is what it is. And I have a Pop-Tart. When's the last time I had a Pop-Tart, man? I can't even believe there's Pop-Tarts and cherry Pop-Tarts. Wyatt Peters, thank you for the super chat. He says, great content. I appreciate you. Thank you, Wyatt. And so, sort of off-topic question. Do you think we should have kept Rex Ryan? I know he didn't do great after that. No, I think Rex Ryan should have been fired 2 years before we fired him. And I loved Rex Ryan. Here's the two solutions to Rex Ryan, Wyatt. Number one, we never should have fired Tannenbaum and kept Rex. Keep them both or let them both go. That's one. But the other thing is, Rex Ryan should have had zero control over the roster. None. Yes, he can have impact. Of course, you want his thoughts and everything. But Rex slowly but surely took over the team. All those players were his. Muhammad Wilkerson, Quentin Coples, Calvin Pryor. These guys were his players. D. Milliner, Sheldon Richardson. They were his. If you believe for 1 second that Rex, who was here for 4 years already, got Tannenbaum fired, was the biggest name in New York sports for a while, for 3 years. If you think that a second-rate general manager that nobody else would ever hire as a general manager and has an accounting background came into the New York Jets and was somehow Rex Ryan's boss, you are fooling yourself. Fooling yourself. Rex Ryan was the boss. Now, Idzik had control over the contracts, the numbers, all those kinds of things. Of course he did, but that's what he was good at. But if you think John Idzik took D. Milliner and Sheldon Richardson and then took Calvin Pryor in the deepest wide receiver class of all time up to that point, you're drunk. No way. Look how many defensive tackles did we take during Rex's time here? Defensive tackles and cornerbacks up top. That's what we did. We had one Mark Sanchez, first round pick, right? What was the next one? Kyle Wilson. What was the next one? Muhammad Wilkerson, I think it was. What was the next one? Quentin Copels. Right? Then what was the next one? I don't remember. I'm losing it. But then there was D. Milliner, Sheldon Richardson. The next one, Calvin Pryor. There's a theme there, man. You know what I mean? That's Rex. So the thing is, we never should have let Rex have that much control over the personnel. Rex was the football guy. He can tell you what he wants, what he needs, and you let the personnel people give him what he needs. You don't let him pick the players. He brought in Plaxico Burress and Anthony Mason. He let all the guys go. He gave Santonio Holmes, he made him a captain. Like, dude, the Steelers couldn't get rid of Santonio Holmes fast. They got rid of him for a 5th round pick. Rex Ryan made him a captain, a leader. So that's the thing. Rex was a great, fun, defensive-minded coach, man. And I loved him more than any other coach. I did. But Rex Ryan should have been either fired at 4 years with Tannenbaum, or Tannenbaum should have stayed here for the 6 years and see if they could piece it back together. But it was over. It was over. Even though we got Geno Smith and all that sort of stuff, and we kind of had a decent team almost, right? Remember that? We were kind of competitive. But come on. So, Shitty Took. What's up? Thank you for the super chat. What's your take on OBJ blaming MetLife Stadium turf for all the injuries on New York teams? My take on that is that I think there's credence to it. I mean, he's not the first person to say that. Matter of fact, Robert Saleh said it 2 years earlier, or 3 years now, when Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas went down in the same game. And they lost them both. Remember that? 2 consecutive plays. I mean, look at Sterling Shepard in the game last night. It was unbelievable. He was just running down the field. Now, is it only the field? Maybe not. But there's something to that. MetLife's field in particular has a lot of injuries on it. I mean, look at us. Look at our team over the years. Now, all of our injuries don't happen there, so it's not to blame it. But I think it definitely, there's something there. There's something to it. Look at the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos have figured out how to have a grass field in extremely cold temperatures. You should look at that model and reproduce it over here. That's what you should do. Grass is what you want to play on. That's it. What's Brian Paris saying? So that's my thoughts on it. I think there's something to it, Chidi. Brian Paris, Jets, we're subbing guys. Ricky Waters. For who? For what? Ricky Waters. That's a name from the holy cow. Salty Nuts. Thank you, buddy. I haven't been a Quinnen supporter in the past, but he is playing really well this year and should never be off the field. I completely agree. And John, look, we've talked about this before. I was not a fan of the Quinnen Williams pick. We already had Leo, and we put all these efforts and resources into the defensive line. It was like, just keep those guys and let's move on and support them. And the player we did need was Josh Allen, the defensive end. If we were going to go defense, then if we were going to take a pick at 3, it was Josh Allen. It was clear. The fact that McCagnon took Quinnen Williams, I was like, I cannot believe this team. I can't believe the guys that are in charge. And that's not to say I didn't like the player. I did. But don't forget, Quinnen Williams was a 1-year guy, super young. He had 1 year. I was like, first of all, we don't need a defensive tackle. Second of all, he's 1 year. Third of all, he's super young. He's going to take time. Grab Josh Allen and let him give you 10, 15 sacks a year in addition next to Leo. You know what I mean? That's what you do. Leo and Damon Harrison and all these guys. I think Wilkerson was still here. I forget. Maybe not. I forget. It's blending together. But it's like, that said, I want Quinnen to be good. You know what I mean? And I think, again, I said it over and over again. He's going to take time, man. He's super crazy young. He only had 1 year at Alabama that was any good. Yes, he was dominant. He was elite, but it's 1 year. He's coming to the NFL. Let him. He's going to learn. This is the first year. Last year, really, I was looking at Quinn, and he had 7 sacks last year, and he had a bunch of tackles. And Quinnen Williams has and I talk about it all the time. Quinnen Williams has an uncanny ability to make his plays when you need him to. 3rd down, 4th down. He's good like that. He's a gamer. I like that about him. But this was the year I'm like, Quinnen, this is Quinnen's year. Dude, look at him. He looks shredded. He looks big, older, stronger. He looks like a man for the first time. And he's out there and he's doing it. He's collapsing the pocket on almost every play. And they take him out from 35% of the plays. I don't understand it. He should be out there 100% of the time. If he needs a breath, he goes out for a play, gets some Gatorade, and goes back in. That's what should be happening. Silly. And look who's coming in when he goes out. You going to tell me that Nathan Shepard is on par? It's not true. And it's stupid. Hennessy says, something smells fishy, especially when it's Quinnen getting into it with the coaching staff. That's the last guy we'd expected. I agree. Something is fishy. And even if it is, let's say it is what they said it was. It's still fishy, Hennessy. It's the tip of the iceberg. There's something. Why is it out of nowhere? Quinnen Williams is going to lose his mind on his defensive line coach in a game on TV? Like, that's the kind of stuff that happens in practice first. You know what I mean? There's something was building up, and DJ Reed, when he talked after the game, wrapped it all up for me. He said, "We got to talk. There's problems right now." And he said the word simplify. We got to simplify. He said, if we got to simplify it, then we got to simplify it. So what the hell does that mean? You know what I mean? When somebody says we got to, they're lost. That's what's going on out there. Hey, Brett Activated, how you doing? It's good to see you. Let's see what else we got here. John Santos, there you are. There's Straight Talk, right? Straight 100, there it is. Dable is everything that Salah isn't. He's the all gas, no break. Yeah, you're not wrong. You guys remember who I wanted when we had the list? You guys remember? I know some of you do. Dable. That's the truth. Now, I didn't love Dable. I don't want to make it like he was my guy. He wasn't. My guy was Matt Campbell from Iowa State. I would have went there and given him whatever he needed. You need $10 million for 5 years? Come on. That's what I would have did. He's a leader of men. Very, very good coach. Very smart. He's been a head coach, rebuilt that entire organization. It's college, so there'll be, whatever, learning curve and all that. But Matt Campbell was my guy. If not Matt Campbell, I wanted Greg Roman. That's who I wanted. It's time for him to be a head coach. Now, maybe not. But then when we had our list, I certainly didn't want friggin' Joe Brady. I did not want Arthur Smith. I didn't love Salah. I didn't hate Salah. I didn't love Salah. I was wishy-washy on Dan Campbell. I did not want what's the guy's name? Caldwell. Didn't want Caldwell either. We interviewed him. Out of the group, I was like, Dable's the one. He's the only one that has actually done something that I think, that I respect. And he went right to the Giants, and he's kicking ass. You like that Kiss hat, huh? It's a good one. I bought that one. Which tour was that? That was like maybe 10 years ago I bought it. 12, something like that. Modine says Trevor looks like he's making that year 2 leap. But yeah, totally. Trevor Lawrence is a talent. You see how quickly people jumped off on him? And he was, dude, let me tell you something. While Zach and him were struggling, like kind of parallel, Justin Field, they were all struggling. You could see it in the games. Trevor Lawrence is close. Trevor Lawrence, he's still able to move the ball. It's not working out. It's not falling right. And a lot of that had to do with Urban. The team was in complete disarray. It's a shit show down there. But you could see it. Trevor Lawrence is the real deal. And that was the biggest thing with me, man. Like, I was fine with Zach Wilson, but I was not one of the guys who was all Zach. I wasn't on the Zach Wilson train. I was more on the Trevor Lawrence train. And when it wasn't Trevor Lawrence, what I said, I did want Sam to go. I didn't want to see Sam get another year, unless he was the only option when we do this. I thought Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, none of them are so good that I wouldn't take that trade back. And I said, somebody's going to offer 3 first-round picks for it. At least. The Dolphins got 3 firsts and a 3rd-round pick from the 49ers. And they only moved to the 3rd spot. We were at the 2nd spot, so maybe we get another 5th. Maybe we get another 4th, 6th. Who cares? So, you know what I mean? I thought, take that damn trade back, go back to 10, 11, 12, and see who's there. If it's Justin Fields, take him if you like him. If it's Mac Jones, take it. If it's Davis Mills, just take him. And then you can keep Sam and have a real quarterback battle or whatever. Now, they didn't do that, and they said, Zach's our guy. Fine. And I support Zach. I like him. I just wasn't, I wasn't so Zach. You remember, guys were nuts about Zach Wilson. I was getting called a hater. You're a fucking hater. You pretend to be objective, but you really just hate Zach. Oh, is that what I'm doing? I got those comments literally every single day for the month leading up to the draft. I got DMs and everything. You're a hater. I'm like, I don't love him. I like him. But I knew Zach Wilson was going to take time too. How the hell could he not? He plays at BYU. He never had any pressure. Never. Whenever Zach Wilson had a little pressure, he looked like a different quarterback. And I said, doesn't mean he sucks. It just means when he gets to the NFL, it's going to be shell-shocked. It's going to be culture shock, man. He's never going to have seen anything like that. So anyway, that's why I'm a little bit more patient with Zach. I'm like, I don't know who the hell thought he was going to come in and light up the NFL his rookie year. I didn't see that. And we saw flashes, and that's all I thought we were going to see. So I'm happy, I would have liked to see more, if I'm being really honest. But, I think Zach is a talented young quarterback. It's just he was never going to be out of the gate. He's not that guy. My opinion, he should have sat a year. The truth. But we don't do that anymore. So Yoitz, what's up, Yoitz? He says, if we fire Ulbrich, well, we were just talking about that, but I'll answer it for you. Ruttenberg. Ruttenberg is the next guy up on our defense. He's the guy that they gave the defensive coordinator job to in the Senior Bowl, and I think that he would be the first guy up. They like Ruttenberg very much, and I think so too. Now, another option would maybe Tony Oden. He's a very well-respected coach out there. Very good at what he does. Very good. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think that's what they do. Truth is, I don't see him getting fired, guys. I think that he would get demoted first, like from play calling. I think that's first. Dude, he's Salah's best friend. You know what I mean? You got the Matt LaFleur connection. He's best friends with him. And then there's Ulbrich. They've been friends for 15 years. More Parks, bench joiner. I'm with that, man. Ablab, thanks for checking in, Ablab. It says, if the defense doesn't give Zach good field position for 3 or 4 times during the game, it could be difficult. Thoughts? Yeah, well, I think it goes both ways, right, man? I mean, that's the thing. When is the last time since Saleh took over? Can you recall the game where both defense and offense both played a great game at the same time? I think there might have been 2. Tennessee was that game. We were doing a really good job with Derrick Henry. It was like, wow. Right? And Zach came out. Well, he didn't play a complete game, but like, when is maybe Cincinnati last year. But like, even like games where we got a bunch of yards, like the Colts and all that, like, dude, the defense was getting shredded. Anytime the offense plays really well, the defense sucks. And when the defense plays really well, the offense is completely inept. We have yet to really put together any full, complete games. What is that? So if the defense can come out and let's say the first 4 drives, there are 2 punts, a field goal, maybe 3 punts and a field goal. The first 4 drives, like not 2 touchdowns. I'm sick of it. Let's say first 4 drives, let's say 2 punts, a fumble recovery, and a field goal. If we can do something like that the first quarter of the game, first, half, then the defense has done their job and they gave Zach Wilson as much as they could. Now, the field position, obviously, in addition to that, you'd love to see them be able to flip the field position, and push it toward the other side, of course. And if that can happen, even better. Like, we keep starting our drives within the 10-yard line. How many times we've seen that already this year? It's crazy. So, I think that if the defense can do that, and we have the talent, man, we really do. Like the last couple of years, like look at last year. We started all these rookies. We were evaluating the rookies, see who we really believe can be a long-term starter, who we think is depth, who needs to go, right? All that stuff. We started Sherwood. He got hurt. We played Nasruddin for a little while. He got hurt in the beginning. We played Eccles and Michael Carter II and Pinnock and Guidry and Hall. We had all these guys, all these young first and second year players. On the offensive side, AVT, Elijah Moore, Zach Wilson, all rookies. All rookies. So, it's like now we have talent. So much talent, in fact, that they feel like they have to rotate everybody. That's so much talent. We can't even contain it. We have to get them all playing time. Like, what is this, Pee-wee? Everybody's got to get their minutes. Is mom and dad in the stands going to yell, "Why isn't my son playing, coach?" Which happens, by the way. I've heard that many times, man. "Play my son. This is bullshit, coach." I want to say, what you're not seeing, Dad, is that your son is crying to me. He's got his back to you, but he got his bell rung and he's crying. He's scared. He doesn't want to go in. And I'm letting him recover. So shut your face, asshole. That happened more than once, too, with the kids. They didn't want to go back in, and the father's, mother's yelling, "Get my kid in." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I'm working on it. And the kid's like, "Don't put me out there. I'm scared." So what is this? We have to play Jacob Martin? You have to play Nathan Shepard? Solomon Thomas? Aren't they depth? Let them be there. They play specials. They come in 3, 4, 5 plays a game. And if somebody gets hurt, you got them. There you go. That's the way it should be, in my opinion. That's how I see it, AbLab Studios. That's how I see it. Who's this? Mark Reed. That's a super sticker? Or is that just Let me look and see if you have another comment. I'll look for a comment for you because that one didn't come through. But thank you anyway. Let's see. Joe S. Jets have no identity except for stupid slogans. Well, you know what? I think we really could, though, Joe. We really could. Our identity should be on offense, a mean ball control, pound you with running backs, tight ends, and electric wide receivers that if you don't cover them, they can absolutely kill you. Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson. We should be a ball control potent offense. That's what we should be. And I think we can be with Zach. If the offensive line, let's say one of these tackles that comes on, solidifies it. And AVT and Max Mitchell, they're good over there. And we get slightly above average play over here. It's good, man. That's enough. That's enough. We just can't have the sieve. We do that, and we're good. And that's our identity. Now, defense, the identity should absolutely be fierce, four-man front that is relentlessly chasing your quarterback to death. And when he squeaks out, CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams, now Quan Alexander, Sherwood are going to absolutely kill him. That's what it should be. Cornerbacks that can cover anybody, DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter, they can cover anybody. And the safeties should be there in run support. And we got to have a free safety that can take over the top for us. You know what I mean? That's what we should be. I think we still can, Joe. I do. You're not wrong. I think we can. The do. We need to get rid of JFM, and that contract was just stupid. Yeah, it does look like. Let me tell you this, though, the do. When it happened, when JFM got that extension, obviously I'm out here, right? I'm on Twitter, I'm on Jetnation, I'm on Instagram, I'm here on YouTube, I'm making videos, I'm talking to you guys. I might have heard it was a mistake a handful of times. Most Jets fans said, great move, getting him for a deal now rather than wait until the end of the year when he has 10 sacks and he's going to want 10 million more. Everybody loved it. Problem is, he quite literally fell off a cliff as soon as ink hit the paper. It's a different player. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But I think he's a good player. You got to stick him inside. Let him do his work in there. I'm sick of seeing him on the outside and Jermaine Johnson sitting on the sideline and Michael Clemens sitting on the sideline and even Jacob Martin sitting on the sideline and Bryce Huff not even in his jersey, not even in his pads. Right? Like J.E. says, play Bryce Huff. What is this? We got JFM on the outside. Dude, that was last year. He played there out of necessity. You went out and you had Bryce Huff. You got Carl Lawson back. Used a first-round pick on Jermaine Johnson. Used a fourth-round pick on Michael Clemens. You brought in Jacob Martin. Like, why are you still taking the guy from last year who did nothing from the defensive end position? He played there out of necessity. Why are you still force-feeding that? Why? Why go out and get all these friggin' guys? Why use these resources on those positions if you're just going to keep JFM out there for half the time? Doesn't make sense. So, Vahid Walker, thank you for the super chat. He says, why can't we play more press man? The vanilla rush and zone coverages seem to expose our horrible safety play even more. Vahid, let me tell you something. You are speaking my language. You're echoing the same questions I have. The same questions I have. In my opinion, I'm starting. Well, let me say, I think Salah's stubbornly, and Ulbricht, they're stubbornly sticking to something that has worked for them in the past. And they feel very strongly that if the players execute to the T what they want to do, the defense would be better. I can appreciate that. But 21 games in, if these players, for whatever reason, can't seem to execute what the hell it is you want, what's the move? To keep going until they figure it out? Or do you figure out how to play to your players' strengths? And that's what we're not seeing. In my opinion, I'm starting to think that Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbricht only have a certain number of tricks in their bag. And they don't have the answers otherwise. This is what they know. And that would be scary. That would be terrible. It really would. If this is just the thing they know, everybody knows that that's the thing he knows. He doesn't know anything else. So you play offense that requires a different defense to stop it, and you just beat Robert Saleh every time because he can't stop it, because he doesn't know anything else. That's what I'm starting to fear. I'm not saying that's definitely happening, but I'm starting to fear that. Like, why is it 20 games in a row, man? The defense looks almost identical. Just like last year, we had all these injuries and third, fourth stringers and rookies. Now we have all this talent and it looks the same. Why? If he knew how to fix it, I think he would have by now. That's my opinion. Now, I still have hope. But I'm with you, Mr. Walker. I really am. Adrian says the D-line has not lived up to their contracts. Again, I agree. But it's like, why? Why is that? I think when you look at just Quinnen Williams as an example, he's getting taken off the field approximately 35% of the time. What would have happened if he stayed on the field 35%? He's dominating. He is collapsing the pocket on almost every single rush. Now he gets home sometimes, but he's there. So if you kept him out there, they don't take Aaron Donald off the field for some second string hack. They don't do it. Why? Because he's the best player on the field. I'm telling you. You think Dallas is taking Micah Parsons off the field because they want to rotate and get this guy 30%? And again, I brought it up in the last stream. Look at Michael Clemens. Michael Clemens is playing he played 19 plays, which was 22% of the snaps. He got more tackles than half the guys in the rotation. He beat Jacob Martin, Carl Lawson, Nathan Shepard, I think even JFM. Hold on, let me look. Let's take a look. Let me stop talking out of my ass. I did all the research, but a day later it just starts to smear together. Let's see. Jets, Bengals box score. No. Okay. Yeah, let's look at the box score. Hold on. And I'll show you guys what's going on here. Nope, that's not the one I want. I'll show you guys in a second. Let me just find the right one. You guys know what song that is? If you can guess that song, you win. I'll look in the chat in a second. So, okay, here we go. Here's the box score. Let's see what we got here. Passing, Cincy, Jets. All right, let's just go to the defense. Okay, there's Cincy. Here's the Jets defense. Okay. Can you guys see it? You guys see that all right? Adrian, I'm going to take your comment off. All right, let me see if we can do this. So here's the box score. So here's what we got. So CJ Mosley had 7 solo tackles, 5 assists, so he had 12 tackles. No sacks. LaMarcus Joyner also had 7 total tackles because he sucks. Sheldon Rankins, again, had a very good game. He had 6 solo tackles, 1 assist, and a sack. He also had tackle for a loss, too, but it's not represented here. So this is kind of limited. Now you look at Whitehead had 5 tackles. Jermaine Johnson had 4 solo tackles. All right. Quinn Williams, who had 2 solo tackles, 2 assists, and a sack. So not quite the tackles, but he had a lot of collapse, a lot of disruption from Quinn Williams. Carl Lawson had some of that too. But look, so you got Michael Clemens here. He played 19 plays. He had 2 solo tackles and 1 assist. He also had a tackle for a loss. So one of these is a tackle for a loss. So in 19 plays, and then you look at Carl Lawson, who played 68% of the play. I think 45 plays. Look at this. Look, 0 across the board. Now, he had some pressures and stuff, so that's good. But now you look at these guys over here. Where's Nathan Shepard? Nathan Shepard isn't even on here, and he played. So he had nothing too. That's interesting. I wonder where he is. So that's what we're looking at, man. These guys, they're being taken out. It's like, for what? What's going on? The only guy you can justify is Sheldon Rankins, and Sheldon Rankins is arguably he should be the starter over JFM. He's not, but you can make that argument. Everybody else, Quincy Williams had 6 tackles, assists, so 7 total tackles. Let me see something. I found one that had, let me see. This isn't it. That's something else. Okay, so there you go. That's enough. So anyway, that's what we're looking at here. That's what we're seeing. And it's like, when you talk about, well, why isn't the defensive line doing this or that or the other thing? It's like, well, I don't know, man. This rotation doesn't make any sense. And are you rotating them specific to the plays, or is it just an automatic rotation? Is it like, oh, this is likely to be this, so we want this guy in there? Are they doing it on that level at least? I don't know. Mark Reed checking in. We should be playing Sauce on Island. This gives so many options elsewhere. Revis Island. Yeah, well, that's what Rex did, right, Mark? Rex saw Revis as just such an incredible asset. He said Revis can take away their best player on offense. He could take away the best asset that they have, which enables, and then, that whole side of the field. So it enables him to use 10 other players to do whatever he wants, because that guy's covered. That side, that's done. He could, now, of course, Revis will give up a catch here. They'll give up a time. Of course, he's never going to be perfect. But Rex knew 9 times out of 10, I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to worry about everything else. And that allowed him to be creative and do certain things. Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich are not doing that with Sauce Gardner, at least up to this point. And maybe he's not ready, so we don't know. It's 3 games. But just to talk about it, they're just folding him in to their defense. They're not looking at him as a rare talent that can shut down a Jamar Chase, take him out of the game. And then you take DJ Reed and you shut down T. Higgins. And then Michael Carter is on to Taj Boyd. I'm not Taj. I always do that. Taj Boyd. Tyler Boyd. You know what I mean? Then you let the linebackers take care of Joe Mixon and Hurst, which was the tight end I wanted, by the way. That was the tight end I wanted to sign. I'm very happy with the tight ends, but that was the guy I wanted. So anyway, like you see that? Like you can do that. You can go, this plays perfectly into our strengths. And they're not doing that. They're just putting their defense out there. Sauce fits here. DJ Reed fits here. CJ Mosley fits here. Michael Carter II fits here. And that's it. They're just playing their defense. They're not saying, hey, I have a rare talent here. Michael Clemens is I put him in for 2 plays and he's got 2 tackles. Why am I taking him out? Carl Lawson's been in there for 20 plays. He's got none. Carl, sit the fuck down. Sit down. Until you can do something better than this young kid, then you're going to be sitting. Oh, it's bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit indeed. I feel the same way, buddy. We paid you $15 million. Why ain't you going in there and doing something? Dominate or get out. You know what I'm saying? And the next game, maybe Michael Clemens looks like shit, and it's Jacob Martin. Jacob Martin, there you go. Light him up, Jacob. Maybe it's Carl Lawson. But you got to use these guys to their strengths, not just have a defense and take guys and just put them in there. Play the role. Like if it wasn't him, somebody else would be doing the same exact thing. You see what I'm saying? Now, sometimes you got to do that. Of course, it's just, you got to use your defense and everything, and you got to put guys in it. But when you have rare talents, which the Jets potentially have, like Rex with Revis, you have an opportunity. And maybe it's just the fact that it's early, guys. That could be it. But up to this point, we haven't seen it. And I think Saleh should be excited to show off what his assets are. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Hawk says it all. Read this, guys. This is it. And we all feel the same way. We all feel the same exact way. Watching Sauce Gardner, who has the potential to lock down anybody, used a top 5 pick on him. You disregarded edge, Thibodeau, Karlaftis, JJ, who we ended up getting later, but you forego all the edge rushers. Thibodeau, who's potentially another rare talent. We don't know. He's got injured and he's not quite himself and whatever else. We'll see how he turns out. It's early, right? But at least as far as a prospect, he's potentially a rare prospect. Nope, we want Sauce. Why? Because he's special. Great. We're in. What are you going to do with him? Well, I run a zone, so I'm going to put him in a zone. You mean you're going to do the same thing with him that you could do with Bryce Hall? Yeah, but he's better than Bryce Hall. Okay, good. But are you still going to give 8 yards of space on a 3rd and 5? Yeah. Why? Okay. So why do we need Sauce Gardner then? We just need a short tackler. Somebody who can close quickly and potentially get him out and get him down before they hit the 5 yards, right? That's what you want. Yeah. So then why did I use a 1st-round pick, a top 4 pick on Sauce Gardner? It's not utilizing his asset, his strengths. Now, again, we don't know what the hell's coming. We don't know. It's 3 games. So I'm quick to say I don't want to overreact. But there's concerns worth talking about. And Saleh looks like his head is spinning to me, especially in the press conferences now. Like there's too much to ask him. He's like, well, hey, I don't know, man. Zach's like they said, who's making the decision on Zach? He said, I can't tell you. I don't know. That's what he said. Essentially, I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. Really? So either that's bullshit or Saleh doesn't fucking know if his quarterback's going to be ready. It's crazy. So again, it's like we have valid gripes. We do. Now, Billy said it. And I agree with this too. The negativity isn't getting us anywhere. Now, it's good we talk about things constructively, and we can bitch a little bit to vent. Of course, we gotta. How are we going to keep this stuff in, right? But the truth is, let's come back, 2-2 on Sunday and prove to the whole damn world that we do have the talent. Now, what it's going to take, though, Billy, it's going to take using the talent to their strengths and also utilizing our schemes to cover up weaknesses. That's what Belichick does. It's what Harbaugh does. If they have a weakness, bet your ass they're doing everything to make it so that weakness doesn't even exist. You don't even see it. They're put smoke and mirror. They're look over here, look over there, look over. They have everything else going on, so the weakness isn't glaring. The Jets put the weakness right out there, front and center. Why? Because our scheme. That's what we do. I mean, he's got to be the guy has to execute. Yeah, but he's not that good, so you have to protect him. He's 50% of what you need. Now, if you give him a tight end, he could do it. Well, but that's not what the play calls for. That's not what the scheme calls for. I need my tight end out there playing X. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. That said, I'm with you though, Billy. I believe we're going to win. I believe we can. Absolutely. BG the Kid. And we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes, guys. I'm already here. Did an hour. I said I was going to do 20 minutes. GB, you kind of said it, but this Saleh Ulbrich defense hasn't shown any creativity whatsoever. Also, Jermaine Johnson has impressed with little he's played. Totally. It's like you see our friend Jets Forever saying Karlaftis. And you guys know, I was a Karlaftis guy. If not Aiden Hutchinson, Thibodeau. If not Thibodeau, Karlaftis. And if not Karlaftis, Jermaine Johnson. But I also said, if the Jets love Jermaine Johnson and they think he fits better than Karlaftis, so be it. I like Jermaine Johnson too. I was happy with the pick. I was happy that we traded up. When we traded up, and it's on tape. It's on YouTube. I was hoping, I was like, come on, please be Karlaftis. Come on. I like Karlaftis. Again, but I'm happy it's Jermaine Johnson. I just didn't want it to be like they traded up and took a defensive tackle. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Something like that. But Jermaine Johnson has, let's see here. Did I lose it? Wait, let me see here. Hold on. Yeah, I closed it. Hold on a second. Jets snap counts week 3. Let me just see how much Jermaine Johnson played again, just so we have it firm. I'll try to find Karlaftis too real quick. Jermaine Johnson played 20 plays, 20 snaps on defense. That's it, which is 29%. He had 4 tackles in 20 plays. Michael Clemens had 3 tackles in 19 plays. Carl Lawson, conversely, had 0 tackles in 45 plays. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. Who else? Solomon Thomas played 23 plays with 0 tackles. Nathan Shepard played 22 plays, 32% of the defensive snaps with nothing. I don't think he did anyway. All right, let's take a look here at Kansas City Chiefs snap counts week 3. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's take a look. I think I might have it here. Let's see here. Let me show you. Okay. Running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive, defensive line. George Karlaftis played 57 snaps in week 3. He had 4 tackles and 54 snaps. He also had 2 quarterback hits. So Jermaine Johnson had 4 tackles and some pressures. I don't know if he had quarterback hits, though. It just didn't say that. I can't tell you one way or the other. But he did that in 20 plays. George Karlaftis had 4 tackles in 50, what'd I say? 57 plays. So what does that tell you? And they're both good. I think George Karlaftis is playing significantly more, and the numbers are comparable. I think Jermaine Johnson has more tackles and he has a sack, which Karlaftis does not. Might be a half sack for Jermaine Johnson. Oh my God, Braden. Mike Saunders is talking to Braden from dude. Braden before the draft, all he wanted was Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd's a monster. You guys see him? Monster, dude. How many of us out here wanted a linebacker with the second round pick? I like Breece Hall. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I'm happy. I don't think the Jets are using him right. You know, rushing him 7 times a game with the frig. So I don't know. But Devin Lloyd. When was Devin Lloyd picked? Devin Lloyd was earlier. He was a first-round pick. Lloyd draft. I just forget. You know, you guys know how this goes. 27 overall. So he was there when we took JJ. I don't know. I don't know. We traded up for JJ. MC Lean says, thank you for the super chats. I completely agree, GreenBean. It seems like this coaching staff tries to fit the scheme around their players. And well, I think it's the other way, though. They don't consider the players' strengths when scheming. They just stuff the players into their scheme. That's a mistake. That's what we were told wasn't going to happen. It was play to your player strength. Dude, and we saw it right away with Denzel Mims, dude. They came right in and said, we don't like that guy. And they started Keelan Cole over him. Again, man, Denzel Mims all the way up till Saleh and LaFleur got here was a stud. Everywhere he's been, he was a model player. Hardworking, great work ethic, intelligent, just quiet, subdued, and introverted. Very talented. Caught everything you threw to him. Great blocker. High pointer. Great hitch route. We haven't thrown Mims one hitch route and just fucking been here. They come in here, and all of a sudden, Denzel Mims is a complete waste of space. I'm not buying it, man. Especially now, look, again, if everything else was going well, I'd say, okay. They know what they're looking at. And even if he's good, if they don't like him, at least it makes sense because they're justified in doing what they do because it works. I've seen so many things I don't like about what they're doing. It just makes it Denzel Mims that we're just wasting this kid's career. Fucking cut him. Get rid of him. Trade him for a 6th. Let him have a career, man. Or trade Corey Davis and bump him up. But it's like they're not going to do that. They can't stand him. Why? I just don't know. But again, we see Ty Johnson out there dropping passes, missing blocks, and he's still on the active 53 and even gets in the games in the fourth quarter. Why? Why is Ty Johnson being given the opportunity to drop passes in the fourth quarter in any capacity? Why? Why is he given that chance? I don't know. Bullshit, Mo. We beat the Steelers. It speaks volumes about this team. Don't forget, we're bottom of the barrel. Saying that we should beat the Bills, dude, they're the top of the heap. Now, yes, it would say something, but that's not where we are. The Bills are 4 years ahead of us on the rebuild. The Dolphins are 3 or 2 years ahead of us. Don't forget, they fired Gase and started their rebuild. We hired who they fired and delayed it for 2 years. And we still had McCagnon. Like, so it's like, dude, we need to beat the Steelers. If we beat the Steelers, a well-run organization that plays nasty, has the sack leader in the NFL in Highsmith, even though TJ Watt is down, dude, we beat them. They got Najee Harris, Pat fucking Freiermuth, Chase Claypool, George Pickens. We beat them, and it says something. Doesn't matter that they're not, the Roethlisberger Steelers, man. This is a team, believe me, everybody in Pittsburgh, they're thinking the Jets are dead. They don't have the chops. Even them firing on half their cylinders is significantly better than the Jets firing on all of theirs. That's what they're thinking, and they got good reason to think that. Us, I mean, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes about this team. Now, your other comment makes sense. I'm not going to put it up there, but the 3-1, 0-4, that's a good comment. MC Lean, Dable gets it. KG doesn't produce, doesn't play. Right, dude. Kenny Galladay. Sorry, buddy. You're lazy and you got a shit attitude. Sit down. And that's the thing. Denzel Mims doesn't have a shit attitude. He's never never had that knock. It's these guys. It's now again, I don't know what Denzel Mims' career is going to be. I'd sure as hell like to see him out there. Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith is a scrub. You understand? He's a jag. That's what he is. And I don't have any ill feelings. I love the fake punt. I'd love to see Jeff Smith catch 100 passes and be great. Ain't happening. He's been here 3 or 4 years. He's never done a single thing. Denzel Mims and his sparing usage has 5 times the impact Jeff Smith has. Let me see this. I'm going to take a look. Jeff Smith, Jets stats. I got to say, I got to make sure I'm actually talking accurately. Here's what I do. When I talk, I go, wait a minute, am I right? Let me make sure here. Make sure I'm right before I look like an A-show, man. Man, my computer is really slow tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, everything. What is this? Why can't I reach Pro Football Reference? Okay, so far in 2022, in 3 games, he has 1 reception. Okay. Page is still loading. He's 6'1", 195 pounds. He's currently 25 years old. Let's see. Come on with this internet. What is the story here, man? Wait a minute. I don't know what's going on. Let me see this. Something's up with this. And I mean, internet's crazy these days. What is it? Why is everything so crazy? You guys, am I still live? Imagine I'm just sitting here talking to myself for an hour. I don't know. For some reason, let me look on my damn phone. Oh, there it is. Okay, fine. All right. It's only 2022. Let me see this. Come on. Stats. All right. Here's Jeff Smith, his entire career. So he's been with the Jets for 4 years. This is his 4th year from the Jets. In 2019, which was with Adam Gase, he had 1 reception for 12 yards. Okay. 2020, he had 17 receptions for 167 yards. Any touchdowns? No. With a 35-yard long. Not bad, Jeff Smith. So he had, with 21 yards. So he had 17 receptions on 37 targets for 167 yards in 2020. That's Jeff Smith's best year. 2021, he had 8 receptions on 17 targets. For 113 yards, no touchdowns. That was the long of 35 yards. What is FD? Long FD. I can't figure out what that is. What is that? Where's the key? I want to see. All right, let me see here. FD. Receiving, first downs. Okay, so he had 6 first downs. That's nice. Pretty good. And now in 2022, in 2021, he had 8 receptions. I said that. Right. He had 8. So in total, he has 27 receptions for 309 yards and 0 touchdowns in 4 years. Okay. Does that sound like the guy that should push your second round pick, who has had numerous seasons in college with 60 plus receptions? His rookie year had more than Jeff Smith's 4-year career. Let's take a look. So remember, 27 receptions for 309 yards. Okay. Now let's just look at Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims in 2000. Oh, come on. I'm sorry. Denzel Mims in 2020 had 23 receptions for 357 yards. And in 2021, he had, 8 receptions for $133. So Denzel Mims in 2 years has 31 receptions. And last year, we know they never played him. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, guys, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Why is Jeff Smith? He's special teams. Yeah. How many special teams tackles does he have? He doesn't have any. What the hell's he doing? He has 1 punt, fake punt reception, which anybody could have caught. Give it to him. He did a great job. Great job. Jeff Smith had like 4 drops in 2021. 3 or 4 drops. I love Mims. I meant free agents like Lawson. What are you talking about? I already forgot what you said. Let me see. Yeah, I know what you mean. I just brought Mims up as some, I was trying to say that like Mims, maybe I made it sound like that. You did a great example with Kenny Golladay, MC Lean. And I was just saying, like, bad attitude, don't play. And I was saying, and Mims isn't the same because Mims doesn't have a bad attitude. People think he does, but he doesn't. Like, we all just jumped off because of this coaching staff. We said, oh, Mims is a piece of shit. Why? What has this coaching staff done to give you confidence in their personnel decisions? What? What have they done? Right? Have they given you confidence everywhere else? So why is that decision perfect? That's correct. Jeff Smith should be on the field and Denzel Mims should be off the team. Why? Tell me why. Why is he inactive all the time? Why? Why is Bryce Huff inactive? Why is Ty Johnson taking a roster spot? What the hell is he doing? Over Bam Knight? Right. Hawk says, we saw what Denzel could do in that last preseason game. Went for like 100 yards, 8 catches, a touchdown in 1 quarter. That's what I'm saying, man. And people say, oh, he's against third stringers. It does not matter. Look at the types of catches he was making. Spreading out difficult catches at times. That's what happens when you use them. That was the most targets he had since Salah's been here. Just, hey, third stringers, 8th stringers, first stringer, doesn't matter. That's how they used him. Look what he did. Kid had 3 drops. Ty Johnson had that in 1 game. 3 drops last year. That's it. 3. He had 3 penalties last year. It's crazy, man. We act like he's a public enemy number 1, all because this staff doesn't like him. And again, if it was working, if everything they were doing was working, hey, doesn't matter that I like Denzel Mims. It's just like, it ain't working. Clearly, he's not impressing them. But everything they're doing is failing. So that's why I have no faith in this decision. So, guys, that's going to do it. Jets 44, Huff and Mims should be active. I agree. Go ahead and bench Ty Johnson, bench Jeff Smith, bench Nathan Shepard, bench Jacob Martin for all I give a shit. Bryce Huff should be in there. He's our speed rusher. And he's relentless. And he's a good kid. Play him. Let's see what we do this week, guys. Let's see what happens, right? Let's see. The 85th episode of Greenbean's Jets Pod will be out tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Beanbaggers, it should be in your inbox. So if you want to watch it tonight, tomorrow morning, early, whatever, it'll be out at 7 a.m. for everybody else. It's good. It's a good one. 56 minutes, I think it is. 56 minutes. I'm also going to be putting it out in audio format, same time, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. And guys, if you haven't liked the stream, please do. It helps a great deal. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, now's a great time. It's great. It's a great thing to do. It helps me. It helps the channel. The more you guys support it, the more I can do stuff. And it's really what it boils down to. And I appreciate it. It's just so cool. So cool that I get to do this with you guys. Last one, Paris. Thanks, buddy. He says, do you think the Jets purposely misled everybody on the severity of Zach Wilson's knee? I honestly don't know. What's the benefit of that? You know what I mean? Is the benefit that teams think that he's going to play so they don't know who to plan for? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just not sure, Paris. I don't know. I don't know what their motivations are anymore. I don't really understand this staff. I want to. I wish I did. You know what I mean? Like, I really do want them to succeed, man. I really do. I would much rather everything we're saying tonight stop and be fixed and move forward in an upward trend than have to complain about this bullshit anymore and watch a 4-13 team have to fire yet another coach, or even worse, go back next year with a coach who has 8 wins in 2 years. And after having 5 first-round picks, with his 2 second-round picks being Breece Hall and Elijah Moore, Joe Douglas hitting on 3rds and 5ths and 6ths, spending $80 million to get you your guys, Jordan Whitehead, Solomon Thomas, Jacob Martin. You know what I mean? All the guys you wanted. DJ Reed was yours. These are your guys. Why can't we win? Now, let's say we win Pittsburgh, we lose against Miami and the Bills, and then we beat them, and then this, and we're scrapping and fighting, and we got, 4 wins, 6 wins, 7. Hey, then that is what it is. That's what I want. I want to fight and scrap and claw our way to a 7, 8, 9 win season. That's what I want. And if we do that, I'm in. I don't care how it happens. Mr. Forte, I'm telling you, man, my thoughts are Wilson ain't playing. That's my thoughts. His doctors haven't cleared him yet. And I don't know the motivation for that. Maybe they're just like, fuck that. Don't go out there with this offensive line. You're going to get killed. And they say, nope. Remember, it's not the Jets clearing him right now. Robert Saleh leaked that out. It's not the Jets. It's his doctors. It's his team. And his team probably has all sorts of motivations that don't necessarily align with the New York Jets. And if that's the case, if I was Joe Douglas, I would say, if he's healthy and you don't get his fucking ass in this team, in this building, so he can play, he'll never play again. And I'm going to franchise him. I'm going to give him his 5th year. I'm going to just keep him here, and he's never going to play. I'm telling you, don't play with me like this. We need to be on the level with each other. but that's me. Guys, that all said, I love hanging out. I'm glad we got this extra bonus show. Again, this is not every week anymore, but we'll do it when we can. That all said, you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time.
There with high pressure in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.